If you're new to the game or if you're struggling, I got 5 tips that should help you progress out of where you currently are into the next level. Welcome everybody, my name is BearCozy. If you don't know me, I strive to make not only entertaining but also educational videos. I like to make account progress videos, I like to make guides, and in general, I like to have fun. And in this case, many of you are leaving me comments about being stuck or struggling in areas like adventure or clan boss specifically. So today I want to bring you 5 tips that should help you progress out of where you are into the next level. Now, if you are stuck, if you are struggling, the very first tip I want to say, and this applies to brand new players, is get Zatlux. Alright, so getting Zatlux, I've mentioned this in a few of my videos, and that's because Zatlux is not only amazing, but he's also an epic. He's very easy to get, and he's very easy to get as a free-to-play. All you have to do is complete the requirements, and he is yours. And he is not only very easy to get, but he's also the easiest to build in terms of gear, and that is because of his passive. Looking at Zatlux's passive, his passive grants him plus 30% crit rate and 30 precision, and since he already has 30% crit rate, you only need 70% from gear, so he is the easiest to gear. So that's tip number 1, is get Zatlux. He is a killing machine. He will help you not only in adventure so you can grind glyphs and experience, but he'll also help you in most of the dungeons. Now, the second tip I have for you is put him in speed boots. If you are new or if you are struggling, most likely your Zatlux is very, very slow, and he will need to go in speed boots. Now, my Zatlux is fairly quick. He's not super fast, but at 156 speed, he is okay. And as you can tell, he's got over 5k attack, and he's got a bunch of crit damage. And as I mentioned before, his crit rate only needs to be 70%. So once you hit 70%, the other 30 comes from his passive. So tip number 2 would be to put him in speed boots, because you don't want him any slower than 130 speed. And if you are currently around 100 speed or slower, put him in speed boots, level them as high as you can. Even if they're 4-star or 5-star, you can farm 5-star speed boots from adventure. That's not going to take very long. So tip number 2, put him in speed boots to make sure he goes before the enemy team so he doesn't take unnecessary damage. Tip number 3 would be to get Connor. Now, Connor is actually right in the Covenant, and Connor is extremely easy to get. All you have to do for Connor is clear stage 3-4, and then you clear any stage of No Man's Land 3 times. Connor is extremely easy to get, and not only is he a very good buffer, but he's also a fairly good healer considering he's an elite. Getting Connor will take you a maximum of 2 hours if you start from 0. So tip number 3 would be this: after you get your Zatlux and after you put him in speed boots, not only get Connor, but also put speed boots on Connor. Try to get as much speed on him as you can. You want him going first for the buffs. Tip number 4, get yourself an AoE nuker. Now, your AoE nuker could look something like this. You can go with an Evira, you can go with a Valeria, you can go with a Garonal. Anybody that has AoE, I don't have a ton of AoE nukers as you can see, but anybody that has AoE, you can typically use, and this will make very, very quick work of farming adventure for glyphs and experience so you can get everybody to level 60. So anybody with an AoE attack will work, including Nathalia. Nathalia is technically a single target damage dealer, but her passive allows her to affect multiple enemies, making her a really good nuker. Tip number 5 would be your turn order. Going into the battle, what do I mean by turn order? Now, the priority is typically this. Your buffer needs to be, the first needs to be very, very fast. He needs to go before all of your other heroes in your team. Now, Connor is very, very good at this with his Berserker banner. He provides attack up and shield on your party members. So the first thing you want to do if you are struggling is do buffs. The first thing you want to do is provide buffs to your whole team. And then once your team is buffed, that will allow them to do more damage than they normally would do without buffs, right? That seems self-explanatory, but some people are still trying to figure the game out, so I figured I would mention that. If you are unaware, your buffer should go first, and if he's not first, try to get him in as much speed as you can, or slow some of your other heroes down. One thing I would not recommend is going below 100 speed. If you are below 100 speed, that is way, way too slow. Now, this is stage 9 of Mythic, so the enemies are a little bit faster than most likely what you are facing. So the next thing you want to do is use your AoE nuker to clear as much as you can. And if your AoE nuker does not kill anybody, then it is time for Zatlux. In this case, we can have Sierra procs her passive so Zatlux doesn't get a turn. But if your turn order is incorrect, and Zatlux goes first, chances are he won't be able to kill everybody, and then you'll have to use your AoE nuker to possibly clean up unless it deflects. So the best thing to do is use 1 or 2 AoE nukers after your buffer goes. So your buffer goes first, your AoE nukers go, and then Zatlux, he is a cleanup machine. He is meant to go last, and that is the absolute best way to do it. Now, in this scenario, I'm going to put it on auto. As you can see, Connor goes first. Nathalia is my AoE nuker of choice. I have put the most work into her, and she's very, very good. Sierra is here for her passive. She doesn't even have to do anything. She just procs her passive. And then Zatlux is the cleanup champ. I don't know how many times I've seen Zatlux go in first, messing up the turn order, especially in arena. So if you are struggling anywhere, especially in arena, Zatlux does need to go after your AoE nukers because he is the cleanup champ. Going back into 9-2, that is where we just were. Couple of things here. If you already have win streaks, you don't need Connor. You can use win streaks, especially if your heroes are around 100 speed, 110 speed, something like that. Try to get them to 130 speed. That is typically really where you want them. Anything under 130 is kind of too slow unless you're just starting out. So if you are one of the lucky players, you can use win streaks. She will speed everybody up. And then you can work on transitioning everybody out of speed boots into attack percentage boots. Now, once you get enough speed where you no longer need win streaks, you can use somebody like Brand, who I'm using, and everybody except Brand is in attack percentage boots, and I am working on transitioning Brand out of speed boots. And the reason why he is in speed boots, as I mentioned before, is he is the buffer, and he does need to go first. So there are your 5 tips, and I have a bonus tip for you. Hey, you're still watching the video. That means you're enjoying the content. And if you're enjoying the content, that means somebody else will also. Click the subscribe button below and help this video reach more people so they can enjoy it as well. The bonus tip is actually working on the ascensions. Once you have some of the ascensions unlocked, and you can do that with either duplicates or you can do it with Awaken Soul Arcana potions, and these you can get from Endless Trial. That is how I farm mine, and this is what you can use to ascend any epic of your choice. Once you get a couple of ascensions, especially into the speed, and you get the plus 15 speed from some of your heroes, that is the best time to take your heroes out of speed boots and into attack percentage boots, and then you can start using win streaks if you need to, or you can mix and match. But the turn priority is this: your buffer / speed booster goes first, your AoE nukers go second, and then Zatlux, who is your cleanup champ, goes last. Now, Zatlux is absolutely amazing. He can solo almost the entire Void Tower. I've made some videos on this. The only time he stops is actually when he gets deflected on Mathasia, and then everything kind of falls apart. Or some of the heroes have unkillable or immunity to damage. So that is when the team falls apart. Other than that, he does really, really well. So those are your 5 tips plus the bonus tip to work on your ascensions and get your heroes out of speed boots into attack percentage boots. And then when you're done with that, start working on your elemental power, and that should give you a lot more attack, so your wood heroes can do a lot more damage, and that is Zatlux. There it is. That's going to do it for me. I hope these tips help you. Leave me a nice comment down below if you like this type of content. Judging from the comments that I've been receiving, lots of you are struggling either clear in Mythic, or you're struggling in Clan Boss. We'll get to more Clan Boss tips in later videos. I have made several Clan Boss videos, so those are available for you to watch right now down below. They are in the description down below. So leave me a comment and a subscribe down below. Let me know if these types of videos are helpful, and let me know what you are looking for and where you are struggling, and I'll try to do my best to make a video to help you out. That's going to do it for me. I'm BearCozy. I'll see you in the next video.